In accordance with the 2018 FIE Congress decision, the Executive Committee of the International Fencing Federation has delegated to the FIE Sports Department to conduct research into the possibility of including the footwork action flesh into the arsenal of sabre fences. Tests on applying the flesh attack in sabre will be conducted throughout 2 fencing seasons. The decision based on the test results will be taken during the FIE Congress in 2020. The proposal for the reinstatement of the flesh attack into sabre fences repertoire is conditioned for further work by the International Federation towards improving the entertainment value of our sport, conversion of regulations in all fencing types in accordance with classical fencing traditions, and improvement of bout comprehension for spectators. It is necessary to point out that the prohibition of cross steps forward in sabre, taken 22 years ago by the International Fencing Federation, was aimed at the prohibition of forward run, and not at the prohibition of performing the classical flesh attack. FIE was never against the application of flesh attack in sabre. Unfortunately, as it turned out, together with the forward run, the flesh has also disappeared. The flesh attack is a classical form of fencer's footwork, described in all study aids and books on fencing in all types of weapons. It is an absolutely natural and necessary fencing action. The essence of the International Fencing Federation's Executive Committee's proposal comprises the restoration of the classical flesh attack into sabre fences repertoire, as was described in the fencing regulations prior to the prohibition of the cross step. Currently, due to the prohibition of the cross step, the fencers are forced to perform, in bout situation requiring a flesh attack, a jump from the forward leg. It is an unnatural and ugly move, which is achievable only by athletes with disproportionately large muscles of the front leg and has a high level of trauma incidence. Additionally, this action is impossible to perform from backwards movement, which impedes the defending athlete to perform an attack on preparation. An attack with a flesh is correctly carried out when the beginning of the straightening of the arm precedes the movement of the back leg forward, and when the hit arrives at the latest when the back foot hits the piece. An attack with a flesh is correctly carried out when the beginning of the straightening of the arm precedes the movement of the back leg forward, and when the hit arrives at the latest when the back foot hits the piece. This is completely in accordance with the interpretation of the other fencer's actions. For example, an attack with a step forward lunge is correctly carried out in a simple attack when the beginning of the straightening of the arm precedes the step forward, and when the hit arrives at the latest when the front foot hits the piece. Forward run in sabre fencing is prohibited. At the same time, the footwork regulations concerning forward movement, preparation, and approach remain without changes. Any forward movement in which the rear foot completely passes the front foot is forbidden. Any offenses will be penalized. Forward run in sabre fencing is prohibited. The International Fencing Federation's administration earnestly requests that athletes, coaches, referees, and sports organizations management refer with all queries directly to the Sports Directorate of the FIE, as well as directly to the FIE Sports Director, Mr. Evgeny Tukhlo, or members of the work group. Telephone numbers and addresses may be found on the FIE website.